Remember when I said this?
He wants you guys to know that he hates this location and he wants to be moved.
Then I followed it up with this.
He's also thinking he wants tank mates. He's also thinking he wants to do a school of flying fish.
And then, well, of course, I said this.
I just gotta find more that are the same size as him, which could prove troublesome. But I'll work on it. Let me know if you guys think I should do that. A school of lionfish.
Whoo! And you guys know that I was searching around and I was coming across lionfish that were far too small, but I did find one much darker in appearance than the one we already had, and I felt like these might work out well together. And that proves to be the most difficult thing, is trying to find lionfish of the same sort, because if you don't know, today we're building the Lionfish Pride. Adding in the second lionfish was a nail biter. I had absolutely no idea what was going to happen next, because I have never seen a lionfish school together in the home aquarium, and or many people do it outside of perhaps public aquariums, but I've never even seen it there either, so I had no clue what was going to happen. I added the smaller one and it went right to the bottom of the tank, right around the rocky crevices, kind of looking for shelter and hiding, and the bigger guy came along. And he laid beside him almost, displaying his venomous spines that are along his dorsal fin. I immediately started to worry, what is he doing? And I thought to myself, well, the lionfish doesn't use the spines to attack, it's more for defense. So is the bigger guy just kind of exploring the other one, yet keeping the spines between them just in case? This lasted about 10 to 15 seconds, and it was over. Then it became like neither one existed to each other in the aquarium until it comes to feeding, which is absolutely fascinating. They come up together and feed together and take turns almost. It's almost like they are doing exactly what I thought they might do, which is use those beautiful, beautiful pectoral fins and guiding the food, and like almost like what they would do in the wild. Because if you don't know, lionfish are often found in shoals. They're always found together. They're pack hunters. They hunt together, they live together, they eat, and they breed together. And as you watch this, I'm probably on my way to pick up the third. If you don't know, we're going to do a whole pride of about 5 lionfish. Now, I also thought I wanted to have a little bit of coral in there, and I thought, well, if I'm gonna have my favorite saltwater fish, let's add in my favorite saltwater coral, which, believe it or not, is the pulsing xenia. An incredibly easy, hardy, and prolific coral that you can keep in your saltwater tank. But attaching it to the rock is near impossible. It's like a gelatin, greasy, slimy thing that doesn't do well with reef glue, so you have to come up with creative ways to get it attached to something, unless you're buying it already attached to rock. Luckily, I'm a freshwater aquarium hobbyist that has experience with freshwater plants that need to be attached to something like Anubias and Java Fern, Java Moss. A lot of times we attach that to wood or rock, and we just kind of glue it on there or tie it on there, or we squeeze it in between crevices and then it'll attach naturally. Luckily, the pulsing xenia will do the same thing. Some advocate taking it and kind of planting it in your coral substrate, and within a few days it'll attach to the rocks within the substrate, and then you actually can take it out and you now have some glue, something to glue. The glue will actually stick to, which is that substrate, and then you can glue that onto a rock or something like that. Another option that I kind of taken from the saltwater planted side of things was to take a coral frag plug, a little bit of pulsing xenia, and tie it on with sewing thread. Once it attaches, I just remove the thread. Then I can put that plug wherever I want in the tank. There was only one condition that I had. I'll keep the pulsing xenia in this tank and let it flourish and do its own thing. The lionfish aren't known to eat it, so long as it can survive the lights that I'm going to provide. I'm not going to do high lights or anything crazy or too much there, because I do got to kind of keep the energy consumption a little bit lower and be more conscientious about that, and lo and behold, it wouldn't survive. It just slowly died off, and that's fine. But I'm absolutely in love with this lionfish, yet it's in the back behind everything, and I know that he wants to come out and be able to see me, and I want to be able to see my own tank, yet remember when we did the in-wall aquariums? First and foremost, we added on this wallpaper that's absolutely gorgeous, but I kind of started putting in logs, which just went along with the wallpaper. And what I found I was doing is I was trying to make it look good as opposed to what I really want to do. So immediately we switched this over to a discus tank. And you guys remember, we did a bare bottom tiled with some freshwater plants, like Java Fern in the center. We made this wood out of several pieces of wood and then zip tied it together. We've got some Java Moss, and then we added in 20 discus, which to this day are still doing really well. But then that left me with the other aquarium, which I had bamboo, pretend bamboo sticks in there, which, to be fair, looked amazing. And I thought, at the time, I'll add in my archer fish because I have plenty of archers and they would look fantastic with bamboo, giving it like an Asian theme. And the archers are like an Asian fish, so I kind of thought it looked fantastic, but it also gave the vibes of like an office tank, and I mean like at a doctor's office or a dentist or something like that. Just fish randomly put in a themed aquarium. I just wasn't in love with it, so I took it all out and I moved the lionfish to it. I did exactly what I needed to do. I got some more rock and I kind of piled it up with plenty of caves, because as you can see, this guy's out. The identical species is under here. He's much darker, but he prefers to be under the rock. He does come out and feed when we feed the tank, but as you can tell, not all lionfish are going to act and react the same. So if you think you're going to get this, you might end up getting one that likes to hide. But you'll also notice something that's incredibly different that nobody really does in the saltwater hobby, and that is, well, bare bottom's common, but you don't see tiling done. So I tiled the bottom just like the freshwater tank, added in some rock, and I only wanted the rock to be 50% of the height, because as you can tell, these guys some of them like to be out and about throughout the aquarium and swim all around of it. Not only are the two ends open for them able to do that, but they can swim all the way around it. Yet plenty of overhangs and caves for anybody else that wants to go under it. Now we just need to find more. Why am I doing this anyways? Because I cannot stop asking myself, what if? What if we kept Oscars as a shoal in the wild? They are often kept, they're not often kept, they're often found in shoals of each other. They're always with each other, but in the home aquarium, we keep them one at a time. Why? Well, they do well as an individual pet fish. They're happy, they explore their aquarium, they're very interactive with the owner. We call them the water puppies of the aquarium world, or they're like little puppies. A lot of people do say that. But I thought, what if I had a shoal of Oscars? I did that. I set up a 180-gallon tank, and my mind was blown at how they were acting and interacting with not only me, but each other and their environment. It was like a totally different fish. I then put them in the 2000, and bam, it's just an incredible experience, and I'm learning so much more about a fish that is so common, and so many people have it, and we all think we know so much about it, but what if we kept it truly like it is in the wild? However, the Oscar does get quite large, and a lot of us just don't have a 2,000-gallon tank to experiment or try that in. The 700-gallon piranha aquarium. I thought, well, the first fish I ever kept in the hobby was an individual red belly piranha, and I learned very quickly that this is a skittish, boring, it's not the mad predator that devours anything that touches the water. They're relatively drab in coloration. I found overall they were simply boring, but what if we kept piranha in true packs like they're found in the wild? What if I dedicated a 700-gallon aquarium to 30 of them, and we planted it and aquascaped it in such a way that it can be absolutely stunning and beautiful to look at, but then we also get to observe their actual characteristics, their mannerisms, and how they interact with each other as well as their environment in a larger scale. Once again, I was absolutely mind-blown. The what if that I learned from that was, I know nothing about piranha in comparison to what I'm learning today. Seeing the hierarchy, seeing if there is one, seeing how they interact with each other, and why are the little ones surviving with the big ones? How does that work? I thought the big ones will go after the weak and only the strong survive, and none of that is showing to be true in this aquarium, and I cannot wait to show you that video when I've been trying to gather footage over the last few months to truly showcase this, and when that video comes out, you guys are just going to look at piranha differently, just the way I do. But imagine a pack of lionfish in that same location. Absolutely phenomenal, something you don't typically get to see a lot, especially in the home aquarium, and we'll be doing it right here on this channel, and I'm going to be bringing you guys along for that. So that, my friends, is the beginnings of the Lionfish Pride Aquarium, and I have to call it a pride. I wanted to say it was a pack or a group or a shoal, but just because it has the word lion in it, it's got to be the pride. And my goal right now is the same as how you feel about the piranha fish tank. What if we set up a massive tank? Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? Isn't that just stunning? And we have so much to learn for. No longer do I think these guys are boring or skittish or anything like that. I don't think they're shy. They are pack hunters, and it's absolutely fascinating to watch them. But I sit here and I'm just blown away by it. And the fact that it's mine and I get to share it with you guys on such a large scale. Or I can go sit in front of the 2000 and watch the Oscars interact and the freshwater stingrays and the Asian arowana. Just like if I were to put all my favorite fish in one tank and make it work, this is it. Look over to my right and be greeted by Tyrese. Or over to my left and we are looking at Dwight Schrute. Or I stand in front of this and I'm at my lionfish. Look, isn't he gorgeous? The way, they're just absolutely beautiful, just stunning. And I get to see how different ones react and act and how they, and we only have 2 and I'm already like, I can't believe I have this. This is how you should feel about your oh, and then, forgive me, I look over to my right and there's a planted discus tank with 20 discus of variety. This is getting insane out here. This is how we're supposed to feel about our fish tanks. Just super excited. But at the same time, I've been in the hobby for 20 years, so it's really hard to impress me. That's why I have to keep asking myself, what if? And moving forward, we're gonna have those answers. Anyways, if you guys want to join me on this journey, you're not subscribed to this channel yet, I highly suggest you do if you kind of want to learn and see things upon this new transition of the gallery, of things that we don't typically see or do in the hobby, but I wonder what would happen. Or finding out why I told Tamara to take her fish back so I can have this, because I found the fish that I've always wanted and that actually inspired me to get into pufferfish, and I finally was able to get my hands on one. Okay. To be fair, I had a lot of energy drinks today. See you guys in the next video.